welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio, episode I have no idea.
204.
204. 204. Pete and I are a little low energy today in the studio. The shared studio.
Yes, the studio that looks completely different from each side, but it's clearly the same studio.
Same studio. I'm just on the left. He's on the right. There you go. I'm your co-host, Kiley Wilde. I guess doing my best Burt Reynolds impression, apparently. I'm joined by my co-host, Pete Beckett.
Jesus, I thought you were going to forget my name there for a second. Jesus.
I almost did.
204 episodes and you still can't remember it. Hello.
I already said this is the name of the show, so I'm going to say it again. Rapid Reviews Radio. Because I actually don't think I did say it.
I think you did.
Okay. Well, it's good to repeat things.
It's fine. Rapid Reviews Radio. Don't forget it.
Yeah, that's right. I really am just in Burt Reynolds mood.
I am really going to have to write something out for you for an actual intro, aren't you? At least then you actually might get it right.
Yeah. Alright. But do we even want to do how our week's been, Pete?
Well,
I can tell you.
No,
It's been great.
No, I can tell you about mine then if you want. I don't care.
Okay, I think we'll skip mine.
Okay, yeah. Fine. I would say, how's your week been, but clearly, best not talk about it. So skipping on. My week has been chaotic, hectic, very busy, very, very busy, but quite enjoyable.
That's good.
I've just been flat out doing everything and a whole lot of nothing at the same time as well. I won't go into too much detail, but this weekend has been a very, very busy one because I've been doing some personal stuff. Kylie knows exactly what it is, but I've been doing a lot of things that have kept me out of the house nearly all day today and all day yesterday.
He's been planting trees in Honduras.
I wish. I might have been hitting a few trees, let's say. So I was playing golf yesterday, for Christ's sakes, and it took flipping ages. I was playing with a slow group of people, and it just was really slow, and it was through a forest, and god damn it, my brother is such a pain in the arse as well. So, but yeah, it was fun though. It was good. It was good. But because it's been a couple of weeks, obviously, as well. Reason why we didn't record last week, I was away. I actually was away doing some house sitting down at Rachel's dad's in Essex. And that was really fun. Really nice to just be away for a bit, except for the goddamn football. But yeah, I've actually been playing games. Surprisingly enough, I've played games.
Cool. What games have you been playing, Pete?
So I will touch on the one that I've played a very small amount of because,
That's what she said.
hooray, Steam Summer Sale was on. So I picked up a game that I may have nominated for a Game of the Year show previously, which was I had played on Xbox before, but that is Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, yes.
So I rebought it. I actually bought it because it's obviously coming off of Game Pass service in December. So bought the Ultimate Edition of it with all the DLC, playing it on Steam. And my god, that game is absolutely glorious and I love every second of it. I think it's going to be one that I'm going to pick up with my gaming group and play frequently. So it only costs 16 quid on the summer sale. So, hey, bargain for all that DLC as well.
Absolutely.
But the main game that I've been playing, Kylie knows about this, people who are in streams over the week will know about this. I may have gone on a hell dive, and not Helldivers 2, but I meant actually mining down to the underworld with Terraria.
Yup.
God damn it, I am absolutely obsessed with Terraria again. So, because I was down at Rachel's dad's house, I've had issues with internet previously down there where I might have used his entire data cap playing online, so I chose not to play online. So I was like, what do I play? Picked up my Switch and was like, you know what, I could play some Terraria. I'll start a new world and see where I go from there. It's been about 20 hours.
Oh, Wow.
in the last week or so. Good
That's pretty
God.
cool.
Good God. So I think so far the only thing I've done is build a house. It's a 5-tiered house, which is cool. Mined my way down to the underworld, to the beehive, and several different other areas as well. Nearly lost all of my stuff several times over. Beaten the Eye of Cthulhu.
Nice.
And I'm just currently about to make my way through the underworld to see if I can taste the Wall of Flesh.
Oh my.
Or the
Oh
Wall of Flesh.
my.
Yeah, because that's the problem. Is once you defeat the Wall of Flesh, it then goes into the hardcore mode, which is... Ooh, boy. Oh dear. That is quite challenging. So, I'm wondering whether or not I should do that right away and actually just go and fight the Queen Bee first.
Oh yeah. I bet that's probably a better
Yeah, because
strategy.
look, I like the Queen Bee, and it's annoying because I keep finding certain bits of like honey and all that.
Yeah.
So I think the hive is nearby, but I keep going the wrong direction away from the hive, and it's quite annoying
Right.
now. I've spent probably about 4 hours trying to find it so far, and found nothing. It's bloody annoying, but that
Well-
game is absolutely ridiculous. So, I did pick up my old character, so I've got some of my old items, most of my stats as well. So I just created a new world and just went into it. So I might have got a small advantage there, but it's fine. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's what I've been playing. Apologies for those who want to hear more about Pine Hearts, because I've been away. I haven't been able to play much Pine Hearts, but I'll get back to it next week, I reckon.
Oh, if you're,
I was going to ask if you've been playing anything. This is the time to talk about your streams, possibly.
I was gonna say, if you're a follower, or as I call them, hatchling, of my streams, over on Kiley Wilde, which is KILEY_WILDE on Twitch, I have played Hitman. I play a lot of
House Flipper.
House Flipper, and I played a scary game that was actually cool, but it was actually more. It was very short, about 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was very cool though. Le Denarie. And I played thank you, Nana. I played Jazz Punk, which you should be familiar with if you're a watcher of this lovely channel, because I used to stream that a long time ago, 3 years ago.
You did, yes. It was very enjoyable watching the intro to that.
Yes. Yes. Well, I streamed it again for my Weird Wednesdays, so I did that. And I've been doing a lot of House Flipper because I'm very lonely. So if you ever see me on Twitch and I'm playing House Flipper, please come talk to me. It means I have not talked to anyone all day. Hello, Mike Tindo.
Hello, Mike.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I moved my camera position today, so all the light was blaring in and ruining the screen.
And I'm sad. So I'm not ready to come out of the dark yet. But what's the stream? I was gonna say scan. I don't know why I was gonna say scan. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I will say this at the end again, but please come hang out with me. I don't have anyone to talk to, so I really love it when chat is there.
Yeah, no, surprisingly, I don't have any Evo currently going on in the background. I've been really busy this weekend. I've not caught anything, so I want to watch the top 8s later. If I don't fall asleep.
But as far as games, that's what I've done so far. But definitely check in. Tomorrow I'll be on my channel. Again, I'll say this all at the end. But I'll be on my channel at 7 tomorrow with an FPS game, because I play FPSs on Mondays.
Any particular reason why it's FPS Monday?
I call it Marauding Mondays. I was going to do
right,
a pirate game, but then I thought, I want to do different games every Monday, so I was like, Marauding Mondays, I'll just do FPS. Let's see. Oh, what time do you stream, Kylie? I'll try and pop by. Yes. Nana, if you wouldn't mind, would you pop a link in there? I stream at 7 o'clock British time. And I usually go to about 8:30. 8:30, 8:45. And, thank you, Pete.
It's alright.
And I stream FPSs on Mondays, weird games on Wednesdays, and frightening games on Fridays. So it's been a lot of fun, and it's helping me a lot because, like I said, I literally don't know anybody. I don't have anyone to talk to, and so it's been good.
I've got the perfect game for you to play on Monday. Game that came
Okay.
out in 2022.
Okay.
It's called Marauders.
Oh, there we go.
It is an FPS as well.
Oh, nice. I'll have to look into that for sure.
Cool.
But I think that's going to do it for our intros. Pete, I hope you have some stories.
I have a few. Do you want to get sad? Do you want to get angry? Or do you want to get gleeful?
Save Gleeful for last. I'm
Okay.
already sad. So we could probably do sad first.
Let's start out with the sad. Okay.
Okay.
So, we have had an unfortunate passing in the video games industry this week, and quite a notorious one at that. Because, and this one came to my attention because of Mike Tendo, who's now in the chat, Brett Jones, one of the original artists from GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, has passed away.
Oh, right. Oh, dear.
Yes, it's very, very
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, so reading the story, and VGC is our source, so go and check the sources out after the recording. GoldenEye designer David Doak shared the news on social media on Thursday, writing, "R.I.P. Brett Jones, you absolute legend." He later added, "So much of what made GoldenEye 007 and Perfect Dark special came from Brett's talent and rascal humour." So he worked for Rare between 1994 and 2002, and his work can be seen across multiple eras of GoldenEye 007, from modelling all the game's characters, creating most of the animation, building multiple backgrounds, and the front-end UI. So Jones was also influential in shaping the design of Perfect Dark protagonist Joe Dark, and voiced several characters in the N64 Classic, as well as modelling and animating the majority of them and leading motion capture work. He was also a keen fundraiser, regularly raising money for charities such as Teenage Cancer Trust and others. So all around good guy. So very unfortunate he is unfortunately no longer with us.
Yeah.
Oh, but here's an interesting tidbit that's just come from this anyway, which is quite cool. He had an even stronger career away from the games industry, working on VFX for movies such as The Last Jedi and TV shows as Doctor Who, as well as the opening titles for BBC's Match of the Day, Championship Darts, and others.
Right.
Very interesting.
Cool. Very. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, that's sad.
Very sad, unfortunately, but, you know, that's his life. It is another unfortunate, massive person that we've lost in the videos games industry, or just general, you know, anime, video games, and movie culture community over the last year. So much sadness, and R.I.P. Brett. That is a huge loss.
Absolutely.
So wishing all the best to his family and his friends over at Rare, and Platonic as well, who probably already worked with him previously. So anyway, more sad news, but you might be a bit more gleeful about this sad news.
Oh, okay.
Do you happen to remember a show that vaguely resembled something called a video game known as Halo?
Oh, that.
Well,
that old thing.
Well, it looks like
It
looks like Paramount Plus finished the fight for us. Because it's been cancelled after 2 seasons.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Me, can I believe it? I can't believe it.
So, the reason why I said that was because I saw the post on Facebook, and I literally put Paramount finished the fight on the official post, which was quite funny.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so Paramount Plus has cancelled Halo's live-action series after 2 seasons. The decision comes after season 2 of the show premiered in February. According to Deadline, Amblin TV... Oh, bloody hell, Amblin was still involved in it.
Yeah, that's
Christ. Xbox and 343 Industries hope to find a new partner to continue the series.
Yep. continue that fight. Oh,
Don't continue that fight, please don't.
I have much to say.
Please put it in a bin and sticky bomb the shite out of that.
Yes. Yeah.
A spokesman for Paramount Plus said in a statement, "We're extremely proud." Sorry, I couldn't get through that sentence. Of this. No, I can't read this without laughing. I know editorials are terrible, but still. We're extremely proud of this ambitious series, and we'd like to thank our partners at Xbox 343 and Amblin TV, along with showrunner executive producer David Weiner. His fellow executive producers, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber, and as Master Chief and the amazing crew. Oh, do you mean Master Cheeks? And the amazing crew for all their outstanding work. We wish everyone the best going forward. 343 added, "We deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to be the global success, and we remain committed to broadening the Halo universe in different ways in the future. We are grateful to Amblin and Paramount for the partnership in bringing our expansive sci-fi universe to viewers around the world."
Wait, Mike, is that a joke or is that a real thing?
Hang on, no.
I need to know.
So do I.
No, I need to know if that's real or not.
Biden ends election campaign, says it's been the greatest honour to serve as US president. Breaking from BBC.
Wow. You heard it here first. Well, you won't because you're going to hear this tomorrow. But holy crap.
Oh, no, really? Not really a big surprise. It's been a major thing that the DNC have been trying to get rid of him for the last couple of weeks since that terrible debate.
Wow. Okay, that was actually kind of cool.
Anyway, for your political news, please don't follow us.
No, we are gaming news, but still, holy crap. Holy crap.
Yes, interesting.
Okay, interesting.
Anyway, yeah, so let's not carry on because, Jesus Christ, there's nothing really to add other than saying that it was just stalled. This TV show stalled for years.
Yeah, this TV show is crap. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. You can go back and listen to previous episodes where I've said I've hated it. Because, okay, first of all, it's just not good. And second of all, everyone knows Halo is a love story between Master Chief and Cortana. Yes, it is not a conventional love story. But it's still a love story. I love it. And the fact that the TV show had Master Chief, first of all, get butt naked. Hence why Pete said Master Cheeks. Maybe we should call the show that. Got him to get butt naked, get it on with this other lady while Cortana's watching. I'm sorry. I've had some really crap things in my life, but that's really crap. Oh, that's true, Denker. Apologies to all who use Cortana. That just triggered. Yes. I should have said, Alexa, play Halo. Beyonce's Halo.
Okay,
anyway,
Google, play Halo 2 main theme.
Was it Breaking Benjamin? Oh, yes. But
That's blown me away.
Yeah.
That's one of the songs that was in the main campaign.
I do love that song.
The main theme was the one that was done by Steve Vai.
Yes, exactly. But I like what Mike Tindo just put in chat.
Oh, here's some gaming. Yeah. Oh, did you not? Oh my God! I told you about that in your stream the other day, and you didn't look at that.
I did. Yes, I love it. I want it. I love it.
Oh, I know. I've
want
entered the sweepstakes, so if I happen to win it, then I'm sending it to you.
And it has a magnetic butt. So do I.
Also, let it be known that I'm going to the midnight showing of Deadpool and Wolverine on for Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I have debased myself by spending money to go and see a Deadpool movie. And at midnight. What have you done? Just so you know, I'm spoiling every freaking minute of it before you even get to see it.
Whatever. I'll probably see it before you do.
No, you
I'm
won't.
redeeming my own glass of wine if anyone doesn't want to. Yes, Nana, it's a new day. It's
It's
a
a
new
new
life.
dawn.
It's a new dawn.
It's a new day. It's a new life.
Pete is feeling good watching Deadpool.
I am definitely not feeling good. I am feeling very achy and tired.
I do like what Mike says, which is it's a Deadpool and Wolverine. So
Yeah,
you could get away with
okay,
that.
fine. I can get away with it being a Wolverine film. They should have called it
Yeah.
Wolverine and Deadpool, though. We all know who
You
the
know.
main star is. Anyway.
Yeah.
I posted in the Discord to you. Do you think that's an appropriate episode title?
Oh crap, Pete, I can't look at that.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. Oh crap, you really did, didn't you? I can't. It'll freeze the thing.
Oh, okay, fine. It's fine.
I'll look at
just
it
look
on
at it
here.
later.
No, I'll just pull it up on here. Might as well.
Cool.
Sure, that works.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're calling it that. That's fine. So yeah, pile of dumpster fire dog crap. Halo's done. Good riddance. We hardly knew ye, but that's because you were hardly what you were advertised to be. So anyway, moving on. So let's talk Nintendo. And I'm not talking about the Nintendo Direct that will be about 4 weeks late for now.
Yes.
Because
does anybody want to redeem this? Because I'm going to redeem it myself.
So anyway, Mike has posted to me, what do you think about Nintendo World Championships NES Edition? Did you pick it up in the end? I did not. And I did not because it's all... I have no nostalgia for the Nintendo World Championships.
Oh, right.
And to me, this is basically just glorified demo versions of the games that you can speedrun, and I'm not a speedrunner. Anyway, I've got nothing against the game itself. Like, I'm just not going to spend my money on it personally. Funds are limited. I have a wedding coming up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, so I hope it's been enjoyable, though. I hope you've enjoyed it, because I know you were hoping for a code. Anyway, we are talking Nintendo because, I'm not going to lie, this sort of came a little bit of a strange announcement. So, if I was to tell you that Nintendo didn't have an official way to charge Joy-Cons
Right.
until now, what would you think? Apart from obviously charging them on the Switch itself.
Say that again?
So there is not an official way from Nintendo themselves that you can charge the Joy-Cons outside of charging them on the Switch unit itself.
Right, okay.
Until now. 7 years into the generation. Because Nintendo is releasing a new two-way stand for Switch Joy-Cons.
Oh, that's cool.
So, releasing in Japan in October 17th, Nintendo says that the stands will allow players to charge additional Joy-Cons on a stand while the Switch console is docked, or they can remove the stand and use it as a controller during gameplay. That's actually pretty handy. So, you know, obviously that little, the little grip that you got to put the Joy-Cons in? The charging unit is essentially the Joy-Con grip, so you can still use them whilst it's in play, whilst it's on charge, separately from the dock.
Right.
Because weirdly enough, you never had a way to do that before.
Yeah, that's really weird. I have to admit, that's weird.
So, this is a quote from the announcement. This is recommended for those who have multiple Joy-Cons, such as when you want to charge Joy-Cons for everyone to play together in games such as Mario Party or Switch Sports. The peripheral is available for pre-order on the official Japanese Nintendo website for 3,300 yen, which translates to about £16 or $21. Which is,
Bad.
for Nintendo, it's not badly priced. Currently no word on an international release, but VGC has asked Nintendo UK for comment. Mike, so Mike said, I had a third-party charging dock for Joy-Cons for years. I said that's why I said Nintendo official Nintendo way. There's always been third-party options available. So the reason why this has come off the reason why I thought this was a little bit strange is because this is 7 years after the console released and as it's on the end of life.
Good point, Pete. Very
But
good
this
point.
was raised on Twitter by somebody from the Together We Play Discord and good friend Ross, who put that actually this could have ramifications for the Switch successor and its backwards compatibility with previous Joy-Cons.
Right.
Which I can't disagree with now. You wouldn't release this so late into the generation if there wasn't going to be some sort of compatibility with old Joy-Cons.
Right. This is a strange move. I'm not gonna lie. This is a strange move. Oh, well, let's see. It does make a lot. Okay. That's
So,
very strange to me, but I'm an outsider.
yes.
Well, I do have a Switch. I just have never I turned it on once.
Yeah, and that was to try and set up for Smash Brothers tournaments. It never happened.
That's all it was. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Obviously, we're not expecting to hear much about their new console until at least the end of March 2025. But, well, it's going to come in this fiscal year. But still no word yet, but I'm not surprised. If I had to guess, it'll probably likely be in October or November that they'll announce it. So, anyway. So this is going to be, this might take a little bit of time, this one, because this is a free tiered story that we're coming to you, because this happened last week when I was going to cover it last week, but we didn't end up recording in the end. But I wanted to go over the fallout as a result of what happened. So I'm sure you've probably heard it from either other podcasts or from your own external reading. But let's talk Game Pass. Did you hear about the Game Pass thing?
Depends on what you mean.
So let's go through the story then, and we can discuss it, and then go over what's happened in the last week because of it. So,
Okay.
Microsoft is raising the price of Xbox Game Pass and introducing a new subscription tier that does not include day one releases.
Yes.
So from July 10th, the platform holders top Game Pass Ultimate tier, which includes PC Game Pass, day one games, back catalogues, online play, and cloud gaming, will increase in price to $20 or 15 quid or 18 euros per month, which is up by about $3, 2 quid or 3 euros wherever you are obviously based. PC Game Pass will also increase in price, so this is the separate tier itself, to $11.99 or £9.99 or €11.99 per month. Microsoft announced on Tuesday, and that was a while back now, obviously. So, and include all current benefits, including day one releases. So, this is the one that seems to be annoying a lot of other people now. Significantly, Microsoft stated that this week it will retire its Xbox Game Pass for console tiers for new users. This will soon be replaced with a new $14.99 standard tier. So that's what was? Oh Jesus, that's I can't even work out what the price of that would be. About $10.99 maybe.
Yeah.
£10.99 or 11-ish euros, €11.99 maybe. Don't know. Which will include access to the back catalogue of games and online play, but no day one releases or cloud gaming. I mean, how many people were really using this for cloud gaming? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's using it a little bit for cloud gaming.
Sometimes, but anyway. So this is
smaller games I did.
Okay, so this is a quote. Some games available with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on day one will not be available via with Xbox Game Pass Standard and may be added to the library at a future date. So essentially, this is basically what PlayStation is doing with their PS Plus Extra and what's their top tier called? Because their naming conventions is stupid.
Yeah,
Premium, sorry. Where games might come after about a year or so. Users currently subscribed to Xbox Game Pass for console will be allowed to maintain the subscription, Microsoft said, including access to day one games. However, if at any time, and I think this is what's got people annoyed the most, if at any time users turn off their automatic payment renewal and their membership lapses, they will no longer have access to Game Pass for console and will need to join one of the other plans.
Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Let's continue. So from September 12th, Microsoft will allow users to stack Xbox Game Pass for console users for up to 13 months. So this is the thing that they've previously had when it first came out, where you could stack memberships up for about a year, 3 years, because I know people when it first got introduced were doing that. So Xbox Game Pass Core, previously Xbox Live Gold, enabling online multiplayer, will receive an annual price increase to $74.99, up from $59.99, but will remain $9.99 per month. So, quote, "We create Game Pass to offer players more choice in how they discover and play games. That includes offering different prices and plans so players can find what works best for them." Do you want me to read this?
What?
Do you want me to read the chat?
Yes, you go ahead and read chat.
So what the two messages from Danka.
One Mr. Danka. Yeah.
So Danka has put, "I do feel this is a way to keep the previous hardware in use. Probably does mean the magnetic rumours could be true. The day one move is what got me slightly annoyed. However, you lose EA Play access at the standard level too."
I'm going to be honest here. I think in its current form, Game Pass is not going to survive.
No.
They've got to change. They have to do something. Because here's the thing. Because you've got Game Pass, but then you've got all these offshoots. You've got Ubisoft and EA and Epic and all these little.
But then
offshoots.
you've got so you got EA Play, is it?
EA
Where you
Play.
get some of that on there, like you have the access to Ubisoft Plus, which you have to pay for through there, but
Yes.
you've got Riot Games that's on PC Game Pass.
Exactly. So I think that what has worked for Microsoft the last, I would say 5 years, maybe a little bit more, but we'll say 5 years. I think what's worked for Microsoft for the last 5 years, it's time to change. They're going to have to mutate. They're going to have to evolve if they're going to survive, because they're not making money off of Game Pass. We know this. We saw the figures. Those came out not too long ago.
Oh yeah, they're not doing there's been no subscriber growth, has there?
None at all. And they're not making a profit off of it. So in order for it to survive, they're going to have to change it into something people want to pay for that will also make a profit. So I don't think that this is I don't think they're there yet, if that makes sense. I think that they'll have to come up with a new game plan, is what I think.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that they've, they had a lot of goodwill and a lot of good graces after their very strong E3 showing, let's say, we'll call it in air quotes, where they were advertising all these games that are going to come out over the next year or two, such as Fable, Perfect Dark, Gears of War, E-Day, where every single last one of them was like, you play this day one on Game Pass.
Yeah.
They didn't specify, play this day one on Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass Core. Not this standard description nonsense, subscription. It's just, I think some people might see this somewhat as false advertising to some degree.
I think that's a valid argument,
actually. But it is also the crap that they have as well, is that some people don't want to have automatic renewals on. They don't want to do that. They want to manually pay for it themselves. So if they let their membership lapse, then they're not going to get those benefits again, which is absolutely completely ridiculous. And they're going to lose that price point that they've been paying previously, which they've been happy where it is. They're going to discourage more people to turn off their Game Pass subscriptions and go, fine, I might go to a competitor, because Kurt Lewin actually posted in our Discord the other day about a gaming deal for GeForce Now that actually had 50% off, and that's looking more appealing to me, to be honest.
Yeah, which all harkens back to they're gonna have to change. They're gonna have to change with the times. This is not sustainable. Their current model is not sustainable.
The problem is, it was never sustainable in the first place. They
No,
were throwing money
you're
at
right.
different developers.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Microsoft's original plan has been all Microsoft products have the goal of we want it in everyone's home. That's been their like whole everything.
That's
So
been
the
a lot. That's been like the thing for a very long time, even
very
since the
long time.
80s, hasn't it?
Yes, exactly. I think that was their whole like tagline in the 80s. A PC in every home,
Yeah.
I think was the original thing, and
I
they've
think it
stuck
was,
to that.
yeah.
Yeah, and so they've stuck to that. So their first goal when they started Game Pass, and I'm sorry if I'm yelling, I'm
You're
using
not.
this microphone. Okay, but their goal has always been, whatever product in every home. So they did that, and then everyone was like, ah, this is such a great model. We're gonna follow this, except that it wasn't profitable. Now, Microsoft, it doesn't have to be profitable because they've got so many other sectors that are profitable. But now, I think the whole like everything's coming home to roost, they've got to start turning a profit or they're going to have to end Game Pass as we know it, as it stands today.
I think the fact is, I think the article is touching on this as well, if we carry on forward through it, is a lot of this has come down to the fact that they've sent 69 or 68.7 billion or $69 billion rounding up on Activision Blizzard
Yes.
as well. So they've got a huge chunk in their balance there that they now need to recoup, because otherwise they're going to start going into the red.
It's absolutely true. And I don't think they had a game. Well, here's what I think, because this has been something we've talked about on Rapid Reviews for years, the Activision acquisition, which is fun to say, by the way. But that original game plan that they had 5 years ago or whatever, that's gone. They didn't
No.
know that it was going to take as long as it did. So now they've got this like, what do we do with this? This bomb or whatever. What do we do with this? And so I think that they're kind of scrambling at this point with what to do. I think they're going to have to get creative. I don't think Game Pass, as we know it right now, is going to survive. I think it's got to change. It's got to evolve. I don't know what it's got to evolve into, but its current model, not going to work. It's not the Netflix of gaming like it used to be. That's what we used to call it, the Netflix of gaming. It's not. It's done. They need to go to the next stage.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But I mean, I think it is also the fact as well is that they recently, I say recently, they increased the price of games, but nobody is actually going to buy their games, let's say. So they obviously want people now to possibly go out and buy a $70 or 60 quid or 70 quid copy of the game. But this also doesn't help with the preservation side of things when it comes to Xbox, because none of the games are actually properly installed on the discs. They are literally just a hotkey to unlock it.
You play on the cloud like I do.
Yeah.
Which is not reliable, by the way.
No, I mean, that service has been out for years and it's still quite poor.
It is. I only use it for like the small games.
Yeah.
Like the big kitty in Little City. So I use that because it's like, why put that on I have I have the white Xbox, whatever that is.
The Series S.
But I was going to say something. What were we talking about before I went off on that tangent? Tangent time.
The games costing money.
Yes. So originally, Game Pass was done almost as a demo service, so that you'd play the game, you'd love it, and then you'd buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I have bought, but I've rarely bought games on Game Pass because you get a discount. But I've rarely bought games on Game Pass after I've played them. I think that backfired.
Yes.
I think what they meant to happen did not happen.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the model has to change. It just
Okay,
hasn't.
so if we're spitballing ideas here, I may have one suggestion of how it could
Oh, okay.
change. Xbox first party titles come out on Game Pass day one. They, however, only stick around for 6 months and they give you a 50% discount on the game purchase after that, rather than
Nice.
20%.
See, I would have said 6 weeks.
Well, I think 6 months is 6 months is probably more accurate when it comes to a live service game, which they seem to be putting out a fair bit of them.
Okay.
When it comes to a single
would agree with
player
that.
game, it may not
Okay.
work as much.
Yes. No, I'm gonna agree with the live service because you do need that to get hooked.
Yeah. Now, if Halo Infinite, they did the right thing by making the multiplayer free to start, wasn't it?
Yes.
So actually, that probably worked better.
Okay.
If they would have said after 6 months, it's like, okay, the in-game economy is going to be increased, but actually you now need to pay for the service itself. I think people might have been like, maybe, possibly,
Maybe.
but then the campaign kind of shite the bed.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I had to bring up that
Yes.
smouldering fire.
Yes. Oh, dumpster fire.
That's why I said went with smouldering fire.
But bottom line is this: they need to change their model. They need to evolve. It's time. This is not sustainable.
It is not. They need to do something really to claw this back. So.
I've said it on the show many times, we are in a transition period anyway. Not just from consoles.
Just generally.
Just the whole, what is it, gaming, what is it, network? Echo?
The ecosystem.
What is it called? Ecosystem. That's it. I can never remember that word. The whole gaming ecosystem. We're now in a transition. So we need to see growth, progress, change.
I think it's a worrying state of affairs when you have to go and actually look at a checkpoint and a bullet point system to see which kind of tier you want.
That's the word. That's the word I meant.
Which is what I said.
Yes.
But yeah, if you have to go onto an FAQ page to see what kind of subscription tier you want, that's not an easy way to entice people in who might be hearing about Game Pass and going, "Ooh, that sounds interesting. Which one shall I go for?" Well, you can have this tier that gets you absolutely nothing but a few games, or you can get this one that gives you PC, and that's it. But yeah, anyway, so it's been a mess, and I'm gonna put it out there. I'm sorry to say, people were talking about the praises again after that E3 showing, in air quotes. I think I've lost faith in Phil Spencer and the management of Microsoft. I'm really not sure that they should be running Microsoft or running Xbox games after all the debacle they've had recently with the Tango Gameworks and all that, and all of this, and keeping increasing prices. I think they're losing people, and I'm now on that fence.
I am a long time on this show Xbox fangirl. We know this. That is my position. And I have Father Phil. I have followed him and encouraged him and thought, oh, this year is the year that I went, no, Father Phil, you gotta go. You gotta go, and the chicks gotta go, and
Sarah
everybody's
Bond
gotta go. Sarah Bond's gotta go.
Matt Booty's gotta go.
Gotta go. Gotta go. It's time to go. Your time is done.
Yep.
And for me to say that, we are at, it's time to go.
Yeah, it's a worry. It's bad when you've had your last terrible, console that came out, which wasn't helped by why is it I can never bloody remember his name when put on the spot. Don Matrick.
Oh yes.
When Don Matrick screwed the pooch and went TV with Xbox One, it was bad.
No.
But then Phil Spencer came in and steadied the ship. He released the Xbox One X and that. Fine. Did a decent enough job. Got people starting thinking that Xbox was going back to normal. But the fact that you started the generation by barely having a game out on your brand new line of consoles, it was quite a bad thing. And that's not saying the PlayStation didn't do the same thing either, but it's been more notorious for Microsoft as
Hey,
well.
Microsoft is the leader, the forefront, the stalwart,
Mm.
and yeah, nope. It's time for new management. We gotta change it.
But
Change
anyway,
it.
so let's go
Yes,
to
we'll move
the
on.
updating part of the story that's happened this week. We've got two
Okay.
pieces that have happened because,
Does anybody want to redeem some wine for
yeah,
me?
because
I still have
look, everyone's favourite,
I still
because we
have
heard
wine.
about this particular entity a lot during the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, the
Yeah.
FTC.
Oh, frick that cat.
The FTC have now come out again, and yes, so I have discussed what we recently just talked about, because this is why I mentioned it, because there's been some updates. So let's go through the article. So the
Uh,
Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, has called Microsoft's recently announced Game Pass price rises exactly the sort of consumer harm it tried to stop by fighting the company's acquisition of Activision Blizzard.
so over the FTC.
Following court victory. So anyway, we won't go through that. So the agency has continued to submit evidence while its appeal is considered. I forget that it was actually under appeal still. I think everyone did. And in
Yeah,
the new
just weird.
filing on Thursday, it highlighted Microsoft's new Game Pass tiers, which includes a price increase for Ultimate and the standard tier that doesn't include day one prices, or releases, sorry. I'll go through this because there was actually an update to the story not long after that. So, quote, product degradation, removing the most valuable games from Microsoft's new service, combined with price increases for existing users, is exactly the sort of consumer harm from the merger, the FTC has alleged. It wrote, Microsoft price increases and product degradation, combined with Microsoft's reduced investments in output and product quality via employee layoffs, are the hallmarks of the firm exercising market power post-merger. The FTC's letter goes on to note that Microsoft's price increase coincides with adding Call of Duty to Game Pass's most expensive tier, and discontinuing the console tier will happen shortly before releasing COD's newest game. It notes that Microsoft promised that the acquisition would benefit consumers by making Call of Duty available on Game Pass on the day it was released on console, with no price increase for the service based on the acquisition. The agency concludes that claiming that Microsoft's post-merger actions vindicate its earlier skepticism of promises it made regarding Game Pass. Previously, the FTC alleged that Microsoft's decision to make mass layoffs earlier this year contradicted previous statements it made in court about how it planned to run the Xbox business if it acquired Activision Blizzard. And Microsoft's lawyers responded to the FTC's claims, saying its factual assertions are incomplete and misleading. Anyway, carrying on. So there was an update that was added to this story. Let me have a look at when this was. So a day later, actually. So Microsoft has responded, stating it's wrong to call its service degraded. Anyway, we may get onto that. So, anyway, I'm going to make note of the fact that those people who were listening to the podcast, please listen on Spotify and everywhere else, because you probably already are.
Yes.
Kiley was making a lot of very rude gestures during the time of doing that, such as sticking her fingers up in the reverse V.
Yes, victory, yay!
No, the British rude version. Or to you Americans, flipping the bird.
Yeah, pretty much the equivalent.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the FTC. They are pretending to be for the consumer while absolutely not being for the consumer.
Yes.
It is a bluff, and you can see it 5 miles away. It's like,
of course,
huge. What they are doing is, as we've stated it so many times, we had the emails from the Epic versus Apple trial thing,
Yes.
but they gave us a little insight into other inner workings, because it wasn't just Epic versus Apple emails that we got our
No,
hands
there
on.
was
We got our hands
Microsoft,
on a
there was
bunch.
Nintendo, there was...
Yeah, it was a treasure trove. I loved it.
It was great.
Yeah, it was really great. And the FTC is not on the side of the consumer. They're on the side of Sony. Big time Sony proper uppers, which is weird because Sony's a Japanese company and Microsoft's an American company.
Yes, but the
Doesn't matter.
Sony has a lot of American subsidiaries, including Columbia
Yeah,
Pictures and people like that are under the Sony banner.
very true. And they've never been they've never recovered from the fact that Microsoft, first of all, as everyone knows, the FTC was involved in the Microsoft Activision acquisition. They were very against it. And then they were very against the idea that COD might not be available on PlayStation and stuff like that. So I almost feel, just my opinion, actually, Denker says...
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Get to that.
Okay.
Continue your point.
Yeah, but anyway, I almost feel like this is a revenge tactic. This is not pro-consumer. This is pro-Sony. And I can't get behind that. Not because I'm against Sony. I'm not. Yes, I'm an Xbox fangirl, but I'm also video game fangirl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm always going to be for the video games. This is not pro-consumer. This is pro-Sony, is how I feel.
I'm actually going to completely disagree with you here.
Okay, that's fine.
Funnily enough, I'm not going to say that they're not on the side of Sony. They did take Sony's side more than anything during the trial.
Yes,
However, I think
much.
the two things stand on either side of this. Yes, they might be more favouring Sony, correct?
Okay.
But however,
Yes,
in this instance,
yes.
and it fucking absolutely pains me to say it,
Uh-huh.
I actually agree with the FTC on this one. You cannot turn around during a court battle saying what Microsoft have said for there not to be ramifications after the fact when they have completely gone against the word which they said under oath.
Yeah, well, that's what Danker's saying.
Oh, I know. That's why I thought we'd come back to it, because I thought actually, because Danker to put it politely, F Microsoft. He put fudge, but I just thought. You state to all regulators, no price rises. You cannot say otherwise. This isn't a coincidence. That is correct, because even the fact that when they said with the Activision Blizzard acquisition, we won't change anything, we won't do anything differently, people's jobs won't be on the line. Look what's happened. A lot of staff from Activision Blizzard were made redundant and fired not long after the acquisition. Tango Gameworks has gone. Arcane Austin's gone. You know, they have shelved several projects. Ninja Theory probably might be next on the chopping block, because Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, sorry, was, according to the charts, didn't do too well.
Yeah.
So things are not looking very rosy for Microsoft. And, they might be $1 trillion company, but Microsoft is the $1 trillion company, not Xbox. Xbox is a subsidiary of Microsoft. And if Microsoft doesn't see any profit and growth from that, what are they going to do? They're going to make cuts.
That is actually very true. I still am not... I can't say that I'm backing the FTC, because I really do feel that they are pro-Sony.
Mm-hmm.
But I see both you and Danker's points, and I think that those are valid points.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it makes me feel dirty and gross to agree with the FTC, but you know what they say: a broken clock can be right twice a day.
That's right. Yes, it's true. That's what they say.
So yeah, and you got to remember, you got to see nuance and sort of stuff like that. Like with each situation, you can't just go in blindly and go, I hate the FTC, I hate Microsoft, I hate Sony. I hate Jeff Keighley, because sometimes they will subvert expectations and do something that completely surprises you.
It's true. Like, I do have completely what's called black and white thinking or concrete thinking. I'm
Mm-hmm.
either yes or no. So it is funny because I will come in and say like I'm against the FTC. But both you and Danker make valid points. And then let's see. Nana says also, yeah, Playground and Turn 10 are the only immune ones because Forza is a thing. Yeah, for now.
Correct, but Forza Motorsport also didn't do particularly well.
Which
and
is
it's
shocking.
I know.
It was such a good game.
Highly disappointing to me.
Okay, yes, okay. Well, I thought it was a decent.
No, it was decent, but I think the Horizon series is probably more my bag than simulation racing.
Yeah.
But you have to remember how much time, effort, a whole new engine and spent the money to do it. So to come out the way that it did was not ideal. Let's say.
Brent says it makes a good one.
Yeah, one day when it's Forza Motorsport 2, possibly.
And exactly, Nana says, I mean, you can make another one easily. That's the point of those games. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, fair point. But the problem is that we don't know what Turn 10 are currently doing. They might still be incrementally working on Forza. And we know that Playground are doing Fable, or one team at least is doing Fable. We don't know if they're working on Forza Horizon 6 as well.
I do want to talk about some of that in a bit. But Pete, you said you had like giddy news. Did you?
Oh, well, that was the Joy-Cons. No, that was the Joy-Con one.
Oh, okay.
So let's carry on anyway, because things got potentially a little bit more bickery, let's say.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has responded to the FTC's claim that it recently announced Game Pass price increases are harming consumers. So in a court filing, well, we won't go over that. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't... As much as I'm pro-consumer, and I am pro-consumer, as we all know, I'm a socialist at heart. A Trotskyist socialist, by the way. I am pro-consumer, but price increases are pretty much needed right now, I would say.
Are they? When there's a quote cost of living crisis, there's a lot of other stuff going on. I know it affects businesses as much as anyone, but
it does. I mean, they have to try and they don't want to cut jobs. They're gonna have to bring in more money.
I could say a lot about that, but let's carry on for now. I'm going to skip a bit of this because I want to go back to, because that's just recapping. So responding to the FTC in its own filing on Friday, Microsoft said it's wrong to call its offering degraded, since the standard tier is allegedly replacing Game Pass for console offering, which did not include online multiplayer. Earlier this month, Microsoft announced changes to its gaming subscription service, Game Pass, to provide consumers valuable options at different price points. It says Microsoft is offering a new service tier, Game Pass Standard, which offers access to hundreds of back catalog games and multiplayer functionality for $14.99 per month. It is wrong to call this a degraded version of the discontinued Game Pass for console offering. But it is, because it doesn't include day one games. Idiots. That discontinued product does not offer online functionality. Yes, it did. Anyway, which had to be purchased separately for an additional $9.99 per month. That is not true. It actually did. Anyway, while Game Pass Ultimate prices will increase from $16.99 to $19.99 per month, the service will offer more value through many new games available day and date. Among them is the... Oh, this just sounds like a... Jesus Christ, this just sounds like advertisement. Yes. Among them is the upcoming release of Call of Duty, which has never been available on the subscription day and date. Microsoft goes on to claim that the FTC is trying to shift focus to the subscription market now that Microsoft is has alleviated regulatory fears that it would make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox, and claimed that it is common for business to change service offerings over time. I can't disagree with that, though. Quote, the FTC barely mentioned subscription at trial. It did. Instead focusing on the theory that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from Sony's console. That is also true, though.
Yeah.
The district court correctly rejected that theory, which is now further eroded by Microsoft and Sony's 10-year agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, a contract Sony was thrilled to enter, mostly because you felt like you had to win your case. If they didn't... Look, let's be honest. If they felt like they could get that through by keeping it exclusive, they wouldn't have signed that agreement.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Pete, believe it or not.
Quote, while the FTC has now shifted its focus to its alleged subscription market, its letter does not map onto the arguments below. Actually, they did talk about the subscription, because do you remember they mentioned GeForce Now? And their opposition to it, actually. Funny that. I think there's somewhat a bit of misremembering or casual blanking on the facts here, because it fits a narrative.
Yes.
Setting aside that it's common for businesses to change service offerings over the time, the FTC case in all its alleged markets has always been premised on vertical disclosure, that Microsoft will withhold Call of Duty from rivals and therefore harm competition. But even in the alleged subscription market, Call of Duty is not being withheld from anyone who wants it, and there remains no evidence anywhere of harm to competition. Sony's subscription service continues to thrive, even as they put few new games into the service day and date, unlike Microsoft. But they advertised that fact that they weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
They said from at the outset that first-party titles will not be going to that service immediately.
Yeah. That's true.
And yet Microsoft have turned around and said day and date on Game Pass, but not this tier.
Yeah, I do think that they shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna agree with that.
Oh, Microsoft don't help themselves when they constantly feel like they have to dig their own goddamn hole.
But that's what I'm saying. It's time for a management change. I just think that it's time for a management change.
100%.
It's time. Old guard needs to go. We need a new guard in. A new thriving.
No, honestly, I'm not sure how much this is really going to change anything. I think this is rooted deep in the fact, and I didn't mention this earlier, that Microsoft as an entity, and quite a lot of other different companies now, are solely hinging on subscriptions, because they want that recurring monetary, monthly payment or recurring annual payment for people to potentially forget about. Netflix does it. Disney Plus relies on it, even though Disney Plus has not been profitable the whole time until now. 5 years, nearly 5 years later.
Crazy.
They've only just turned a profit in nearly just under 5 years.
Which is shocking.
But it also doesn't help that they pay themselves for their own goddamn movies as well to fudge their balances. That don't help. Idiots.
Very true. But yeah, that, even like a lot of iOS apps rely on that, which is very annoying. Very annoying. I want to buy a product and own it outright. I don't want to do a monthly subscription fee.
Yes, Adobe. I would love to have an actual paid version of Adobe Audition I can use without updating, and not keep raising the goddamn price every goddamn year.
Exactly.
This podcast costs me money every month. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we have yet to turn a profit, which is not a phrase that has ever come out of my mouth in about 20 years.
No, but we don't do this to turn a profit. We do this for enjoyment, but it is just another fact of the matter is that if you wanted to do this kind of thing on a budget, yes, there are ways of doing it, but we clearly don't.
Yes, we're doing it at the top quality. There you go.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, well, I was trying to sell it, Pete.
Ease of use, let's say. Ease of use.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Does anyone want to redeem my last glass of wine?
God damn it.
Yes, but do you have any more stories?
I don't. I can go for a couple if we can find them.
We've only been.
It's been an hour, so yeah. We can.
But I just think that I'm rehashing what I've already said, but I'm going to say it again. Microsoft, especially, but I also am going to include Netflix and Disney in this or whatever. They need to evolve. We're in a different state now. We're not in lockdown anymore. They've got to change their parameters. They've got to evolve.
Yep.
They've got to change.
Agreed.
And I would like to see that. Because Danker said, I would agree 10% would have been acceptable for an increase, but this is 20%.
Yes.
I kind of see the point. But when everything else is increasing, then you kind of think, oh, I'll increase with that.
Yes,
I know that's a business mentality. That's purely me coming at it as a businesswoman.
Oh, I know, but you can't expect people to increase 20% when they've just literally chopped a couple of major studios and removed probably a vast majority of, I'll say vast, a huge number of staff as well.
You're not wrong. But even in my own business, I've had to increase it 20%. I've had to.
Yes, but you're a one-person entity.
I am, yeah.
This is a multi-billion, trillion-dollar corporation with several subsidiaries all around the globe. This is what I didn't want. This is what I wasn't going to mention until now. There is one very easy thing you can do. Remove CEO bonuses for cutting staff.
That is something like, even though technically my title is CEO, I am always very, very attuned to different, like CEOs of different companies or whatever. And Pete's not wrong. The bonuses are a freaking joke. I had to watch my language.
I know.
Are a freaking joke. Yes, I get a bonus for my own company, obviously. I would say it's a probably 10-15% bonus. These guys are doing like 300% bonuses. That's insane to me. That's a whole department that they're getting in a bonus. You know what I mean? Like, that's... I am stunned. I am sitting there stunned. As a person who is very lucky and I have made tons of money, I cannot fathom how these people accept these bonuses and just go on like, oh, of course I'm gonna get 300% bonus. What is wrong with you? Because that is taking from your company. That is taking from the company profit. So I can't support that. I mean, yes, you can argue, oh, Kiley's on the side of business. I am, to an extent. I am. Like I said, I'm a Trotskyist socialist. So, yes, I am on the side of business. But I'm not on the side of business to where it's gutting the company. That doesn't make sense to me. There are companies who have shut down while the CEO has gone off with a 100-400% bonus.
Yep.
I can't support that. I can't. That's insane. That's insane.
Ridiculous. Anyway, got a couple more stories because one
I'm redeeming my own glass of wine.
Okay. Well, one I specifically want to discuss because I thought this was interesting and it helps to validate a theory I had about something else.
Okay.
Because this was recently announced at Evo this weekend.
Yes, there you go.
Because may not be as played by most,
right?
but seems to be enjoyed by some. SNK has re-released its classic fighting game crossover, SVC Chaos, for PC via Steam.
Okay.
And the Switch and PS4 versions will arrive July 22nd, so tomorrow, or today as you listen to this, the audio version. So SVC Chaos was originally released in the arcades in 2003 with PS2 and Xbox ports arriving later. It was never previously released for PC or Nintendo platforms. So it does include a roster of 36 characters over various SNK series, mainly King of Fighters. Why the hell they wrote this wrong? And Capcom. They put in the article King of Fighterers. Hilarious. And Capcom, mainly Street Fighter. Obviously, there's a few other exceptions in there. It's a game that is notorious for, once again, having Zero being top tier in every game he's in.
So I agree with Brent.
Anyway. So this version includes new rollback netcode and tournament modes, as well as a hitbox viewer and gallery mode featuring 89 key artworks, which is great. I do. Yep. So speaking to VGC last year, the producer behind SNK's biggest franchises claimed that there is interest from all sides in reviving the SNK versus Capcom series. Anyway, so like I said, this helps me to validate the theory that SNK and Capcom were working on something else. Not just this. Okay. And I'm still going to hold it very, very true to the fact that, obviously, with Mai and Terry coming to Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, SNK versus Capcom and Capcom versus SNK 3 are going to happen at some point in the next few years.
I am going to agree with Pete, and I'm not even, into all that, and I even think that.
And it's also the fact that Guro or, the new Guro or Fatal Fury game is coming out next year as well. Yes, right. SNK are now on the rise much more so than they have been in the last few years. Whilst I don't agree with their principal owners, they have been making strides in making a huge return to the fighting game sphere over the last 5 years. They've had Samurai Showdown, they've had new King of Fighters games, they've had re-releases of basically all the Capcom, the old SNK versus Capcom games, including the Neo Geo Pocket version coming out on the Switch a few years ago. Yeah, this is a blossoming, a re-returning of a partnership that they had back in the early 2000s before Playmore got involved, and I'm very, very happy about this because I think a lot of people have wanted to see a Capcom versus SNK 3 for years, and obviously because of SNK's troubles has always been out of reach. Yeah, like I said, if you didn't know, SNK are actually owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. No, but they appear to be funding some good games, which is a shame.
Well, there you go.
Anyway.
But, let's see, Brent says, but I think they're walking a fine line with their agreement with the FTC, particularly COD Day 1. Talking about...
Yeah, because he said, personally, I find Game Pass Ultimate worth it. I still haven't changed my subscription, and I'll probably re-up it, but that's because I like how, the availability of the games to play. But I don't agree with the price increase, and I don't agree with the wording in which they've done all of this.
You know what's funny? Since I've started streaming games, again, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I have found myself, I thought I would be more Game Pass Ultimate because that's the tier that I subscribe to.
Yep.
I'm actually finding myself more playing Epic games and Steam games.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of reconsidering, is it worth it? I still feel like it's worth it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many options available to everyone.
Yeah, but
harkens back to what I was saying. They need to evolve because I haven't even looked at Game Pass Ultimate games yet. I have not even looked at them.
No, to be honest, I keep my Ultimate subscription open because of the fact that with PC, it just gives me a whole new avenue of options to play, especially when you've got things like City Skylines 2 on there, and even though it's
I
still
do
not
like that.
still not in a great state. But
I know.
Flight Simulator 2024 coming to it as well. It does mean that I can try and melt my graphics card.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just
Yeah.
nice to have the option. But I did say in the main story, I am strongly considering GeForce Now at times.
Yeah, absolutely. Nana says, yeah, on the plus side, they are back to the 90s in terms of games.
Capcom definitely are, and SNK definitely are, which is always a plus because, yeah. And it was also coming off the back of, I didn't even get to really talk about this too much, but
Oh,
the Marvel vs. Capcom game that
oh
got
yeah.
announced as well, and it's proving once
Yeah,
again, I think Marvel vs. Capcom 4 actually could happen as well.
it could. I don't see why it wouldn't, to be honest.
What you mean the campaign that was done by Maximilian Dude of what was it, free MVC2 that
Yes.
actually finally got vindicated when they announced that collection.
Yes.
Holy crap! I've wish listed that on Steam. I want to
know you
buy
have.
every copy of that.
I'm.
No, no, I don't.
Aw.
I don't do this many times, but I will be buying that game on Steam, absolutely. But I will also be buying a physical copy of that game on PS4
I'm
and
not surprised.
maybe Switch as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
I
surprised.
just want to own it. I just want to hold it in my hands. Even though, and I'm gonna say this, I don't care. Well, I don't even like Marvel 2. I don't even really like it that much.
Okay, I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the best, as we know.
It's not. Ultimate is the better version, but hey, MVC 3 is good.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's quite funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've got one more story to cover, and this one
Okay.
is solely just for one particular person in our chat. So here you go, Brent. Warframe 1999 release window confirmed at TennoCon 2024. There was several other announcements. I'm not too sure what else I can cover.
Yeah.
Apart from, I've got one other thing that I can add. So let's go through this anyway. So Warframe 1999 will release this winter, Digital Extremes as announced. The expansion will feature a voice cast including Final Fantasy XVI's Ben Starr, as well as Resident Evil 4's Nick Apostadius. Will require players to play through the game's existing content in order to access it. Digital Extremes plans to reveal an onboarding plan for players interested in the expansion closer to launch. So, Warframe 1999 will feature an in-universe boy band, complete with newly composed music. The game's soundtrack will be released on Spotify and Apple Music on Sunday, and the expansion will also feature the game's first romance quest.
Is this time for me to jump onto Warframe?
Brent, I'm getting to that. So,
He's been asking us to. Let me just say, Brent has been asking us to jump onto Warframe for 3 years.
Yes, I know.
Because we got stuck in Destiny, and then things happened.
Yes. And then Halo Infinite happened, and that flopped.
And then that was it. Halo Infinite happened. Yes.
Yes. So anyway, I'm going to go through this as well because TennoCon also showed. So Warframe Studio Digital Extremes has held its first Soulframe dev stream, during which it debuted new gameplay. So the game, which currently doesn't have a release date, has gradually invited players to Soulframe Prelude, an early access experience that introduces the world.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so, quote, the closed testing we've been doing with our community has been so impactful. We've learned a ton, and we continue to listen and learn each day, said Soulframe director Jeff Crooks.
That is good.
We're hoping to open this up to a lot more players this fall. Everything is still rough around the edges, but that's part of our style. The feedback is important to us, and we really do integrate it regularly. So, they also announced that a new ancestor is coming to the game, Verminia, the Rat Witch, and can enhance the customization of cosmetics while also assisting in crafting potions, elixirs, and other bits as well. So I'm not pronouncing names. So an encounter with a massive armored bear was also teased. A new enemy, the Nimrod, was also shown during the gameplay presentation. So, based on the name alone, because it's not obviously very subtle, let's say, I would imagine this is a Souls-like game. It's probably set in the Warframe universe to some degree.
Brent says if you watch TennoCon on Twitch, you could already have an AK as a teaser for 1999. I remember him saying that in my chat.
Yes, well, he did say that he pinged a message on the Rapid Reviews Discord channel for people who are interested in Warframe. So, Brent is our resident Warframe expert. And I'm still pissed that game won Game of the Generation. Or Game of the Decade, sorry.
It was worth it. It is still going, Pete. Can you believe that?
I know it is, but Undertale has a very, 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 very lasting legacy too.
I agree.
And I'm not pissed because Warframe is obviously done numbers. It's done really well. It's kept going, and it's a worthy winner. It's a worthy winner, but I'm just pissed that it was my game that lost out to it.
But Brent made a fabulous argument for it, and it holds up. It does.
Oh, it does, yeah, and fair play to them. They've kept it going. So it might be, honestly, I think I might have to agree with you. It might be time to download. Because I think if I can get it running really well on my PC, which I probably shouldn't see any reason why, I probably should give it a go.
I really should, because I'm not gonna lie, I do miss Destiny. But Destiny's quality has degraded.
Yes. Brent, can you pop it in the chat if you've got a moment? If it is on Steam, or you can find out, is it verified for the Steam Deck? Anyway, we'll leave that lingering there whilst we wrap up everything.
We'll wrap up this part, but do stick around, because we do like to do a post show where we chat with our chat. That did not come out right, but
where we chat with our chat.
Yes, exactly. But for this portion, we thank you so much for joining us. Pete, where can they find you out on the interweb?
They can find me on several different places where I am managing, but just barely by a thread. The Rapid Reviews Radio Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days.
Sure.
Barely. That's our radio pod. But you can also find me on another podcast. Shock horror, I do other podcasts. That is terrible news, I know. But actually it fills your niche, because if you like movies and TV shows of a Marvel variety, or everything else too, I'm over at the Never Watchers with my friend Kurt Lewin. We have recorded the Dune episode, and that was with Gadget from Modern Escapism, the resident Dune expert. It is currently being edited as we speak. Well, not right this second, but it is in the process of edit. It's been a lot tougher this time around than previously, so it should be out this coming week, but I will let you know when it comes out.
No, that's great.
It's in the bag, though. It's been in the bag. So, Kylie, what about you? Where can they find you in your miscreants and misgivings on Twitch?
Believe it or not, I'm actually on the interwebs again. It's been 7 months. No, it's been 12 months. I counted that wrong. I am back on the interwebs. You can find me on Twitch, but I don't post much. It's just gonna be clips. At Kiley, KILEY_WILDE on X, Twitter, whatever the frick you want to say. But I have started a regular streaming schedule, which I do wish you would join me on. I'm a very lonely person. Very lonely. So I thought streaming would help me not be less lonely. Help me not be I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I do some sneaky streams. But I'm scheduled for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/KILEY_WILDE. Mondays I do FPSs, Wednesdays I do weird games, and Fridays I do frightening games. Woo! And I'm always open to suggestions. Come join my bevy of hatchlings, because we're in the dragon cave, so if you join us, you become a hatchling. I'm the queen dragon. And I am trying my hardest to get to 50 followers. I am getting ever so close. Inching by inching. Because that will make me affiliate, and I get to do really cool things once I hit affiliate. But actually, really, I just want you to come join me. I'm lonely. Come talk to me. I will talk to you about anything and everything. Is absolutely free to discuss. and I would love to see you there. So that's, again, twitch.tv/Kiley, Kley _WILDE. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And then, like I said, keep your eyes open for sneaky streams, because when I'm feeling really sad and lonely, I just like to stream.
Fair play. And to those who are interested and those who are wanting to play Warframe, yes, it is verified for Steam Deck. Guys, you're not helping. I know I asked, but it's not helping.
Princess, when's the Warframe stream? Tomorrow is shooter day, right? You know, that's a very good point. I will take a look at it. I'm gonna say this: Warframe will definitely be one of the Monday streams. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, because I kind of plan out my streams ahead of time, but you're not wrong. I am gonna put Warframe up there, because that's what I do. FPS is on Monday.
Yes.
And Brent says, if both of you start Warframe, then we can have an RR group with us and Mike that downloaded it this morning.
Yeah.
That would be great.
With everything that's going on over the next few months, I'm not sure how much time I can dedicate, but I will try and get on and get the onboarding done at least. If we do jump on, I'll let you know.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this episode. Please stick around for us at www.twitch.tv/RapperReviews, because we like to do an after show. It's so much fun.
Where we get to drink and cuss and swear and all that sort of good stuff.
That's right. My favorite. It's my favorite. Although I'm a full bottle of wine in, almost. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. So I will say we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Free Capcom vs SNK 2. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rapid Reviews Radio podcast. You can find the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and various other podcast platforms. You can also find the video version by searching Rapid Reviews on YouTube, and watch the podcast recording live on Twitch at twitch.tv/rapidreviews at 7:30 PM UK time every Sunday. Please make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at RRRadioPod, and for all the latest reviews, visit www.rapidreviewsuk.com or on Twitter at RapidReviewsUK.